Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth Slowcast episode on December the 9th, 2015. First things first, today we're going to be talking about the things that I'm going to be doing as soon as I get back into the swing of things. No, I don't mean the swingers party. No, we're going to be talking about the games that I'm going to be covering as soon as I get back into making videos. And the reasons why I'm going to be covering certain games over others. After that, we're going to be talking about announcers today. I want to talk about stuff in like the announcers in MOBAs. So Dota 2, here's New Earth, in Awesomenauts. Why are they such a good customizable item? Why do I like them so much, and why do I think that they are a fantastic addition to these games? And finally, due to request, we are also going to be talking about my holiday plans. All of that coming up on today's show. Alright, so I came out of the bunker that I've got built into the basement, which we don't have. It's actually a closet underneath the stairs. It's like my Harry Potter cupboard. It's where I hide all my stuff, my luggage, my coats, my canned food in case of emergencies, because apparently everyone thought that it was going to be an emergency, including myself in the last Slowcast, with patch 2.13 hitting the shelves. And I'm currently looking outside of my bedroom, out the window, and the buildings are not leveled. I can in fact see exactly 0% of the horizon. So yes, it seems like everything's okay. The planet has not exploded, and everything should be fine. I hope you guys are too, but it seems as if the world has not yet come to an end. So that's pretty fantastic. And with that, I'm really happy to see how people are actually taking this patch. You know, we've talked about it pretty much the entire time on the Slowcast since I started this thing, because let's be honest, this is the only thing that I've been able to play, and that was just from a brief period of time where I was at Ronimo, just to hang out with them and do some stuff that one weekend. And I am now excited to be able to tell you guys that I am going to be coming back fairly soon, next week on the 17th of December. I am stoked to be able to tell you guys this, because I have been looking forward to this moment for quite some time, because I'll be able to actually pick up my own computer that isn't broken and start making videos again, and it's a good time. So this brings a couple of things to mind. I've had a lot of time to think about what I want to be doing in terms of videos and all that good junk. Like, why am I doing this? Well, one, I'm making videos because it's fun, because I can play games, and because you guys get to end up enjoying my gameplay. And that's kind of the point when you get down to it, as far as my YouTube is concerned. I want to have people have a good time and be entertained by these videos. So when I'm thinking about all the different series I could be doing, about all the different things that I could be playing, I'm thinking about what games are entertaining to watch. Well, like, what games do you guys have fun watching me do? And, commenting about, and eventually, like, as it gets along, playing with me, because really, let's be honest, I take requests like it's a cheap bar, and I've got nothing except for a jukebox, and I don't know how else to entertain people, so I'll just do that instead. If you guys just pay me with compliments, I'll be like, hey, so what do you want? You want some Freebird? I'll do some Freebird for you. I got that on the box. Terrible joke aside. I've been thinking about the different series that I want to be doing once I get back into things, and obviously, first and foremost on the list is getting right back into Awesomenauts and making sure that there is constant Awesomenauts content on the channel. That's the mainstay and the staple of this channel. It's the only reason why I have a community here to entertain that is larger than a couple of handfuls of people. And I was super thankful to have a couple of handfuls of people, but I'm going to be honest with you, it would be a disservice to all these other people that have subbed to not continue Awesomenauts. Besides, it is still very much my favorite game. I love it. It's a MOBA, it's a platformer, it's action-packed, it's practically perfect in every single way. I have yet to find another game that scratches so many good gaming itches all at once. Don't read too far into that. It's not like I've got gaming lice or anything, okay? So I checked. Like, I've gone to the vet and I've made sure that I'm completely checked out. I don't have ticks or parasites or anything else. So yeah, the itch is normal, the itch is fine, and Awesomenauts scratches that business. So we're going to continue doing that for that reason. Now, other games on the channel have received a little bit more of a mixed blessing. Between trying to do the StarCraft campaign or some other lengthier Let's Plays like Invisible Ink. Those games didn't quite work out the way I would have liked. A lot of people weren't super interested in them. So I'm probably going to let those lie in the dirt where I left them. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big RTS guy, so StarCraft 2 and I, not super big to get along. It's a good game, obviously, but I just can't get into it. So whether or not I'll do a Let's Play of it, On top of that, it kind of depends on the laptop. StarCraft 2 is pretty intensive, so I doubt it. As far as Invisible Ink goes, I haven't played it enough to really get the hang of it or to think that I'm particularly a huge fan of it. But I have played other Clay games, and Mark of the Ninja, which was a suggestion that someone gave to me on Twitter, is a fantastic game, and I've got a series for that. And it's just, Invisible Ink didn't, or hasn't yet had, the chance to make that imprint on me, to be that good to me yet. So I'm probably going to play it on my own for a little while, see if something comes up that I really enjoy, and then if I get good enough at it that I feel like I could show it to you guys and have a good time with it with you guys, then yeah, sure, maybe we can bring that back. Now, there's a couple of other things on the channel that have been receiving, or that did receive, a little bit more attention over time. Risk of Rain had a series of monsoon run videos. We got up to episode 5, and I was doing pretty well. I had actually won 2 out of 5 of those, so, that's not a bad win rate considering, at least, how hard monsoon mode can be, and how bad I am at most video games. So, it was good to be able to do that, and I really love Risk of Rain. Now, you guys have a okay reaction to it. You don't mind it, you like it a bit, and it's funny because it does a little bit better than some of the other series that seem to have a fairly vocal community and that otherwise people seem to like. So I'll probably continue those, or at least try to continue them, because Risk of Rain is one of those games that I pick up to play for fun, and then why not record it, right? It makes sense at that point, and I do have fun playing that game, a lot of fun. So yeah, that will probably be a series that continues to stick around. Nuclear Throne is another roguelite that I've been playing before I had to leave in August. And I really enjoyed that game. I enjoyed it a lot, and it was recently released at the time of this recording, about 3, maybe 4 days ago. It's fully released on Steam. It's been released on the PS4 and stuff, and it's not that it's being done in terms of patches. Like, it still has a few patches more to go before it's completely polished. But as far as a game goes, it is a complete game now, and it is a really good game. Not everybody seemingly likes my playing it, and I'll be honest with you, I kind of am not very good at it. I can barely loop as it is. But I do like it a lot, and I like it for the same reasons I like Risk of Rain. So I'll probably keep trying to do Nuclear Throne. However, there's a contender in the ring. For those who have not been paying attention to my Twitter at all, you'll have noticed that I've been kind of big into a couple of things recently. Outside of writing a book and doing way too many shitty watercolor paintings and a couple of other pieces of shit stuff, I have been trying my best to book up on The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, and I do really enjoy how that game looks. It is dark, it is weird, it is strange, and at the same time, it is so much fun. Before Steam started crapping out on this computer because the computer's too old to actually run the newest versions of Steam, I was able to play the vanilla version of The Binding of Isaac, and that was a good time. It was hard as hell, and there were moments where I got salty, but it was a fun time. And Rebirth, and then inevitably Afterbirth, I never really got the chance to play Afterbirth, but Rebirth is really, really cool, and I've been following and watching Northern Lion since about June, July, and watching most of his episodes that he puts out daily for The Binding of Isaac. So I've been booking up on it. I know the theory. I know a bunch of the different things. For instance, don't pick up soy milk on a regular basis would be a good idea. Libra, probably bad as well if you're not used to it. And try to go for deals with the devil. Holy Mantle's sick, especially on the Lost. And yeah, like a bunch of little things here and there. That's just a small smattering of stupid knowledge that really, I guess, doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But it is a game that I am interested in. And although my technical skill isn't up there, I do love the idea of the game. So as soon as I get back, expect to see at least a couple of episodes and I'm going to gauge the reaction from you guys, like whether or not you guys like it, to keep going with it, or just to play it for fun on my own time. I'm not sure yet, but I really do enjoy that game, and as a roguelike goes, it's received a crazy amount of praise. I'd be dumb not to think it was a good game just based off of consumer reviews alone. But on top of that, again, it's alluring to me. I really wanted to give it a try, especially because roguelites in general seem to be resonating with me recently. I'm also going to be looking towards making another long-term series. It's been a long time since I've done a story-based game or a horror game of some kind, so I'm looking forward to doing another one of those. I've already done Amnesia. I've done Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs. I am looking at Soma, and I'm thinking that would be fun, but the problem is that's come out a long time ago. Like, everybody's kind of spoiled it for themselves. Soma can't be that interesting anymore. At least I don't think it is. I'm not sure for you guys. But I would like to experience that game. And it's been a while since I've played a horror game and really kind of rose to the challenge. One of the reasons I really wanted to get into YouTube was so that way I would force myself to play games that scared me. Not necessarily scary games, but games that terrified me due to the skill level required and made me nervous about putting out that content or something along those lines. I wanted to be a bit braver, and YouTube has helped with that immensely, I think. And it would be good to kind of work on that scarier part, on that braver part once more with a story game of some kind, where there's progression, and then start to come up with maybe a list of those things to do. So when I get back, I'm going to take a close look at my library and see what I've got and try to put together one series of that caliber, as it were. But yeah, those are my plans for right now. Definitely Awesomenauts. Probably Risk of Rain. Maybe not the other two series that I dropped and left in the dirt. I would love to do more Nuclear Throne and get better at it. Binding of Isaac is a guarantee for at least a few episodes, and I'm looking for another story-based game. But one more thing. There's another series that I started up, and I've actually had a couple of people ask me where those episodes go. And it's for the series of Darkest Dungeon. That's maybe a talk for another time, but for now, I might leave it alone for a bit. I think I really need to be... I think I need to watch maybe a couple of streams from the guys at Red Hook Studios, the developers for that game, and maybe watch some more streams, watch some more videos, and pick up what the appeal is. Because every time I play that game, I get frustrated. I feel like I'm not doing enough to progress, that I'm not getting anywhere, and the constant lack of success, at least in the past couple of episodes that I had, was demoralizing on a level that I was not happy with. So we're just going to leave that alone for now. But I could go more. I'm going to go more in depth as to why that is in another cast. For now, those are my plans. And I can't wait to get back, though. Because the games I am aiming and raring to play are going to be a really good time. And I hope everyone's going to have fun again. And that track is called In Case of Trouble by Darren Korb. It's off the Bastion soundtrack. So Darren Korb is going to be our featured artist for today, and we're going to be taking a look at two of the games he's composed for, specifically Bastion and Transistor. This particular track, again, called In Case of Trouble, is from Bastion, and it's at the point where you are in the main hub, where you can do your shopping, where you can do your testing, where you can do all kinds of things. And it is a fantastic little track. The reason why I like it so much is because it's so chill. I love what he does with the guitar, and how it builds up to what the piece, where the piece climaxes eventually, by using other instruments, by adding more guitars, all kinds of things. And I have to say that it's one of those songs you can just put on loop and listen to because it is just that chill. I have yet to come across another piece of music you could just sit down with a beer or something like that and just listen to this and go, you know what? Things are going to be okay. Things are going to be fine. All right, let's talk about announcers. what's the big deal with those guys? Well, if you guys can remember as far back as Unreal Tournament, that was my first real exposure to an announcer. And man, did that guy have an impact. He's the announcer that inevitably was put into Dota 1 as the Dota 1 announcer when it was still a mod in Warcraft 3, and upon whom most of the killstreak lines are still very much modeled. You have the, the monster kill, like moments, and the godlike, and all of those comes from the Unreal Tournament announcer. And he was great. And he brings up very much the first point of why announcers are awesome. Back when you were playing Unreal Tournament, you're playing a first-person shooter. You did not really have a lot of vision of the map. You kind of had the vision of what was in front of you and a massive honking gun. Like, it took up so much space. And to have an announcer telling you who's managing to kick whose butt, who's got what, all that kind of stuff, was really important. And that's the reason why there was an announcer in Quake as well. When the double damage gets picked up, man, you had to hear that coming through the sound, and when they put in an announcer, that was nice and helpful too. So, first off, announcers are helpful because they give you information. Now, sometimes they give you a bit too much information. Awesomenauts is indeed guilty of this because every once in a while, and by that I mean constantly, if your opponents are attacking your turret, you'll have the announcer say something along the lines of, "Your turret is under attack," like all the time. It gets a little frustrating. So what do? Well, you start looking around for different announcers, and you eventually find one that you like, and you put that one on instead, and it'll still tell you that your turret's under attack, but hopefully it's a little bit more funny while it does it. Still, that's not the only thing that announcers are cool for. Announcers are really cool for another thing. Unlike any other cosmetic item in any game, that I can think of anyway, they are constant. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Dota 2 for a lot of the stupid shit it has. For starters, you have costumes. Not like full skins, mind you, but you have little costume pieces you could pick up in-game. And you can also just buy like full sets. You can go on the community market and buy like bits and pieces of clothing for certain characters for like 3 cents or something like that. You know, you can put together a reasonable outfit for relatively cheap. It's nice. But one of the things that's problematic and frustrating about that whole system is that you have like 100+ heroes, right? And you're buying one piece of clothing for one of them, and they might not even be a hero that you can use all the time. I know that I've got like a full set of really cool looking gear for Spectre, but I can't use it because the vast majority of the time when I play that game, I'm stuck playing the support or something, so I don't get to see it often. The other kind of thing that pops immediately up to mind is like the blocks. You have these stone blocks you can carve apart in Dota 2, and you put them up, and they're statues that you've made, and you put them in your base. And there they stay, in your base, waiting for you to lose, so you can look at them on a regular basis, and that way your opponents can look at them as well. Really, past like simple vanity, that doesn't do a damn thing. It's one of those cosmetics that you see like maybe a small portion of the game, and it's like, why? Why do I even bother with this thing? Why did I pay $5 for a rock that I only get to show off if I'm losing? It makes very little sense. So, announcers come in. And I love announcers because they are there all the time. If you have an announcer on, you can bet your ass that that announcer is going to be talking throughout the entire game. And if you get one of those announcers you really like, for instance, in Awesomenauts, I really like the Wildlife Explorer guy. He's super funny. I think that his kind of cold indifference to everything that's going on is amazing. Or Voltar. I love how he's just super mean to you all the time. There's never a moment where it's like, "Oh, you've done a really good job. I'm super impressed." No. Voltar is just unimpressed with you. It's like, look, it seems as if you've been following my plan. And that's it. Like, it's all according to his plan. And if you've been listening to him the whole time, you would have been fine. But like these kinds of humor, like this kind of humor, this kind of game shaping is throughout the whole game. It's one of those customizable elements of games these days that I really appreciate for how often you get to actually enjoy that particular customizable thing. That is super cool. And I love that about announcers. But the last and probably the most important part about announcers, I find, is that there are a good variety of them nowadays in a lot of the games that I play. And they can be so much fun. Dota 2 did such a good job by having Gladys and by having the announcer from the Stanley Parable do an announcer pack for each of those in their games. They also have Rux from Bastion, the game that we featured a little bit earlier in the soundtrack section. And it completely changes the game who's talking. Now, mind you, my favorite announcer in that game is still very much Axe. I can't stop laughing at that guy. He's so good. Like, there's this one line that's along the lines of, as your middle tower falls, Axe's middle finger rises. And it's so good. It's unbelievably funny. And the fact that I get to have that kind of humor throughout a game keeps me a lot less salty and a lot more into the game, and it keeps me happier. And Awesomenauts has similar things. I can't take Wraithlord Scoop seriously. He's so over the top. It's like, your rage will consume you. Like, the whole time. Like, I'm half expecting him to just break out into coughing at one point. It's just like, your bottom tower is... Sorry, guys, 1 second. At some point in the game, it's too good. So, yeah, these announcers are really effective. They're cost effective because they are there throughout the entire game. They are great for information because you might not be paying attention to everything. You can't. And having an announcer tell you what's going on is actually super helpful most of the time. Even if it's annoyingly telling you that your bottom tower is under attack and you're like, game, I know. But finally, because you can choose which voice it is, you can really shape how your game turns out and how entertaining your game is just by choosing who's shouting at you the entire time. And that is kind of freaking genius. I love that. And that track was called Sandbox. It is the hummed version, again composed by Darren Korb, the humming being performed by Ashley Barrett, and it is off the Transistor Extra OST, where they have all the tracks from the original OST hummed and accompanied, or the instrumental versions of those tracks in some way, shape, or form. It's like the inverse version of the original soundtrack, and which is nice. It's a great bit of variety that I quite enjoyed. Now, I love this piece because it's a little bit of music that I find is super relaxing. It's super chill, again, but in a completely carefree kind of way. It's not that you've got troubles. It's that you're sitting there and you're like, you know what? I don't have any troubles at all. I'm going to relax. Like, this is my beach music. And I love that Darren managed to compose something like this in a game where everything else can be so serious, where everything can be so, not melodramatic necessarily, but maybe a little over the top, a little heavy. And having this one track being that respite in all of this is a really nice touch. Not to mention that Ashley's humming is mesmerizing. I love her voice. All right, let's talk about holiday plans here, folks, because you guys asked for it, and I am nothing if not maybe a little verbose and over-talkative about my plans about, everything. So, what am I doing? Well, it's a very good question. For now, I'm currently trying to fight off a cold still a little bit, but it seems to be going now, which is good. But my plans to start off with are to get home. I have been away from home for a little while, and it'll be good to be able to see my friends, to see my family, and all that stuff. I'm going home on the 16th, and I will have access to a laptop that can work and a computer that can work as of the evening of the 16th. I am excited. I'm so excited. I think I might just go on a gaming binge. First things first, yes. You know what? Gaming binge. That's the first thing I'm doing as soon as I get home. I'm going to get home and I'll be like, hey, Mom. Hey, brother. Hey, little cat thing. I'm going upstairs and you won't see me for the next 16 hours. I'm going to be playing video games till my eyes bleed. So, yeah, I've missed that, obviously, quite a lot. And, yeah, I'm probably going to take full advantage of that as soon as I get home. The next thing I'm going to be doing, obviously, is definitely, like, obviously I'm going to be spending time with my friends, with my family. I'm going to try to slot everybody in within that 2-week period because I don't have a lot of time to see everybody, which saddens me. So, yeah, I'm unfortunately going to be a little bit pressed for time. But I do know I'm going to try to see everybody. I'm going to do my best to also put out YouTube videos and prepare for when I come back to England and all that stuff. But another big highlight that's happening is I will eventually see the new Star Wars movie. I am so excited for this. Like, I don't know why, but suddenly I'm just like, I want to watch Star Wars, guys. I want to. I need to see lightsaber on lightsaber action and some use of the Force. I'm not what you'd call a Star Warsian, a Star Wars fan, a Starian, a Swars. You know what? There isn't really a good name for those guys, so I'm big into Star Wars, but I'm not like, oh my god, I have to have all the action figures level. And it's not like I went into the extended canon or anything either. But I do like it, or I did like it quite a lot, so I'm excited for this movie, and I will definitely tell you guys what I thought about it. Granted, that's probably the better job for like CinemaSins or literally any one of the movie critics out there on YouTube to do, but I would love to rant and rave about that movie as soon as I get back as soon as I get back. It's gonna be great. I'm going to be spending Christmas with my mom first, and then with my dad afterwards the next day, and then after that with my extended family at my grandma's place, because she's having a hard time moving these days, and then one more Christmas with the rest of my extended family on my dad's side. So that's going to be a busy, like 4 or 5 or 6 days, depending. Very, very busy. It will be difficult to upload videos during that time, but I'm sure I'll make a backlog before then, knowing me. So that's going to happen. And as soon as, that's all done, we're getting pretty close to the end of my holidays. It'll be about the 28th or so. And for about 2 to 3 days, I will have freedom to really do whatever I need to, which includes seeing friends or just spending time at home. I really do miss home, and just being able to go for a run maybe in Hyde Park or something like that would be great. But come New Year's Eve, I'm going to be partying really hard, because that'll be the last time that I'm going to be able to do so in Canada for a long, long time. And I'm going to make sure to relish it, because come the 1st of January, I'm going to be leaving back for England. And yeah, I you know what? I'm a little mixed about that still. It's great because I'm going back to England with a full-time job waiting for me, with people that legitimately want me to be there, that actually enjoy me being around, and that think I can do my job, which is fantastic. I'm going to be working with a class of year 5s, so 9s and 10-year-olds, and they are great. They're super cute. There's not a tough kid among them. And that's all good, but at the same time, I'm still going to be leaving home and my desktop, which I'm becoming more and more increasingly aware to the stupidity of really leaving it back home. So one of my big projects is probably going to be saving up enough that I can ship it over here bit by bit if I need to. But yeah, it's going to be a long time before I go back home. So I think my primary plan for the holidays is to spend as much time as possible doing things that I can only do while I'm back home. And that's seeing friends, that's seeing family, and getting my affairs sorted so that way I can stay in England for a good long time. Because it looks like that's just the way things are going to end up right now.
I dig my hole, you build a wall. I dig my hole, you build a wall.
and that track is called Build That Wall. It's Zaya's theme from Bastion, again composed by Darren Korb, and the vocals done by Ashley Barrett. One of the things I really liked about this track was just how sad it is. But that's nothing new. If you guys have been paying attention, I obviously quite like the sad stuff. But one thing that's really cool about Bastion's soundtrack is that all the character themes and all the themes having to do with rest and repose have to work a lot with the guitar and being very much a folksy kind of feel to it, which is awesome. But there's one other thing that I really love about this theme. And it also has to do with another couple of tracks on the album. One of them being Mother I'm Here, which is Zolf's theme from the same game. And then finally, Setting Sail, Coming Home. The two tracks, Build That Wall and Mother I'm Here, combine together to make the finale, really, that is the Setting Sail Coming Home song on the album. And it's really cool how Darren put in a lot of thought into mixing those two things together, and the two main sung melodies in those pieces actually create a really cool counter harmony and harmony balance, and it's just excellent composing and a lot of great forethought, and it's a fantastic way to finish off a game, to hear these two themes being put together in such a way that it's just story-wise a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. And this brings us to the final part of today's Slowcast. We have the comments. First up, we have Lego Pokemon 9199 that has commented, "Could I have a SoundCloud version of these casts?" Well, it's your lucky day. Not only did I actually comment back on you and reply to you, and you replied back to me saying thank you very much, but to all those out there who actually really enjoy having these kinds of things on SoundCloud, there is in fact a SoundCloud where all these are. So you can take a look in the description below the video, and you can go ahead and take a look at the SoundCloud versions of these Slowcasts. I'm still working on getting the RSS feed to work with iTunes, so as soon as iTunes is a thing, I'll let you know. Now, these Slowcasts do go up a lot quicker on SoundCloud. In fact, they probably go up the night before. So if you want to get this stuff a little bit earlier, you can get your fix over there that way. If you still would rather watch on YouTube, hey, I'm not complaining. I'd like to bid adieu to Michael Speth because apparently he is not going to be playing Awesomenauts anymore. He has, in fact, suggested that I try playing Chivalry. To get back to you about Chivalry, I can't. It's one of those games that I've tried playing before, and I can't get behind it, man. There's something about the way that the graphics look, the way that it works with my computer, and the way that it just feels that just is off to me. I'm not a big fan of the game. I'm sure it's fine, but it's not my thing. So best of luck to you in your Chivalry stuff. We have another comment by H2 the Hybrid, who posts an interesting little comment that I quite liked, actually. It's that 2.13 looks a little bit better than previous patches, because previous patches you had stuff like range increased by 4, and it's like 4 whats? 4 farts? 4 goats? 4 goats farting? Like, who knows what that 4 really even meant. But now that we've got like these percentages, it's like, okay, I can kind of understand what that means. 50% of the range that I'm usually used to having is pretty fantastic. Although I might add, it would be pretty cool if we had a couple more indicators and a few more things that would show us what the frick was going on. Devman also coming in with another comment along those same lines, where it's like, you know what, the patch hasn't really changed a lot of things directly, and that other big patches have had more of an impact. I am struggling to think of another patch that's had an impact like this, but I know that you're right. From what people have told me so far, and I am going to quote K&G Richard on this one, you still win games the same way. You have to win fights to win games. The only difference now is that if you really are not going to win, you are going to lose. And if you really are going to win, you're going to win a little bit quicker, so that we don't have those long, drawn-out games where nothing happens for like 40 minutes. They will end. But if the two teams are evenly matched, then from my experience anyway, it's turned out to be a lot of fun. And throughout the entire game, I feel like so far, it's been one of those things that you can play and feel like you're affecting something. So that's good. I would like to do a quick shout out to some people on Twitter. I asked a couple of questions as for game ideas and all that stuff that I could be playing. And Axel, Jonas, and Pikestaff all gave me some options as to what games I could be playing. when I get back into things. So absolutely thank you to you three on Twitter, and then to another two people, Devman again and Erebos, for suggesting some of the things that we listened to tonight, specifically the bit about the announcers and my holiday plans. Our thanks to them giving me the suggestion on Twitter. So again, thank you so much for doing those suggestions. I really appreciate it. That you guys really helped me out, to be honest. And thank you everybody so much for listening to the 4th episode of the Slowcast. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I know that I sure did. I love making these things, and I hope that you guys love listening to them. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment as to what you'd like me to cover in the next one, and I'd love to read some of your comments so I can cover them in the next comment section of the podcast. If you didn't like it though, you know where the dislike button is, and I'm sorry you didn't like it. Maybe tell me why in the comments. That would be great too. You can find any other information, including the soundtrack and the SoundCloud and all that stuff in the description below. And I hope to see you guys in the next Slowcast. You guys take it easy, and I'll see you soon.